All right, good day, everyone. Today we'll be focusing on our next portion of factoring, which is going to be dealing with solving. Okay, solving isn't really much different to what we've been doing. Okay, we're still going to focus on trying to simplify the problems, trying to work them out, and trying to factor them using our X method. The only difference now is that we're going to take it one step further and actually get a specific X equals answer. Okay, so no, a lot of it's just the same exact process. As you kind of can see up here, if you look at this example, we still follow the same rules where we would get an equation, we would factor it. The only difference now is that we're going to take each of those, set them equal to 0, and then solve them out to get two specific answers. Okay? Let's go ahead and look through one. On letter B, we have 12x squared minus 7x minus 10. So B is 12x squared minus 7x minus 10. Okay. First step is basically just going through the same X method process that we've been going through this whole time. I'm going to draw my X. First times the last on top. 12 times negative 10 is negative 120. Bottom is negative 7. And what we need to do is think of two numbers that multiply to the top and add up to the bottom. Okay? Now, this one is pretty challenging. And like I always say, don't necessarily focus on the bottom number, okay? Because there are so many possibilities that could add up to negative 7. Really focus on the top number, the negative 120, okay? Now, the thing is, what you want to do is try to almost play this game of what numbers can actually multiply to 120. Now, there are so many different possibilities to this one, okay? You have 12 times 10 and multiple others. The thing is, we want to try to think about ones that are actually going to give me a 7 on bottom. And how I look at this, that basically tells me I'm going to need a difference of 7 in between those two values. So basically, you're going to guess and check multiples of 20 until you get to the values of negative 15 and 8. Okay? Now, once again, we're always trying to talk about ways to think about this logically to find those two numbers. How I look at this is I need to find two numbers that have a difference of 7 but multiply to 120. So I kind of want to start ranging out. Okay, I don't want to use like 10 and 12 because if you think about those two numbers, the difference is only 2 between them. So if you notice, I can't really get much of a variation with those. So I want to start branching out and try to think, okay, what's a bigger number and a smaller number I could use because the difference is going to be greater. Okay, so when we're trying to think of those two values, think logically through it. But we always follow our next step. We always rewrite the first term and the last term, and then we plug in the other terms, 15x, 8x. From there, we're going to group and pull out our GCF. In this case, 12x squared minus 15x, both of those have a 3 in common. 12 and 15, 3 goes into both of those. X squared and an x, I'm allowed to take an x out. That would leave me with 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4. X squared, if I had 2 of them, but I took 1 away, there's 1 left over. Negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. And if I had an x but took it away, that's going to go ahead and leave. Next one over here is 8x minus 10. Both of those have a 2 in common, so I'm going to take out a positive 2. This would leave me with 4x. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And the x can't be taken away, so I can just leave it. And then negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Okay? We talk about every time. If these two match up, we know we have the correct equations. So right now I have the answer of 3x plus 2, my outside terms, times 4x minus 5. So basically everything we've done up to this point has been exactly what we've been talking about, just factoring. Well, today we're going to take it one step further. We're actually going to solve. Okay, I want to actually get an x equals as an answer. Okay, that's going to be my goal at the end of this whole thing. To do this, I want to basically go back to the beginning and understand what this was telling me. You notice how it was equal to 0 here? Well, if I go back down to this equation, technically this thing, this whatever, all this factoring we did still equals 0. So what I'm allowed to do is actually separate these two values. and basically say that each one separately has to equal 0. Okay? Now, if you notice, by taking that step, now I basically have two linear equations or basic equations that I can simplify and solve out. For example, for this one, we have 3x plus 2. I'm going to subtract the 2 over to get 3x equals negative 2. And then divide out the 3 to get x equals negative 2 over 3. Okay? Over on this one, I'm going to add the 5 over to get 4x equals 5. And sorry about the 5 there. And then I'm going to divide out that 4 to get x equals 5 over 4. Okay, so you notice how really I'm going to do the same exact process. Okay, nothing really has changed from what we have started to what we have now. The only difference is at this point, everything below that blue line is just us solving to get an actual answer. Everything above that blue line is the same process, the same steps we took throughout the whole process. Okay? But that's the lesson for us. That's what we're going to continue on working on. I wanted to keep this video short as we'll be talking about a lot of the other special cases within class tomorrow. Okay? But go ahead and answer any of the Ed Puzzle questions, and then we will discuss this tomorrow in class. Besides that, have a great day.